Hi, it's Michelle. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Michelle. I make videos about books. Please hit the subscribe button. It really helps my channel grow. In today's vlog, I will be doing an author taste test. I have been wanting to do this for a while because I personally have the tendency to buy authors' books and just keep collecting their books without reading any of their prior books. So in this video, I will be reading an author's books that I own. So the author is Sarah Adams. She writes closed door romances. I actually featured her in my closed door romance video, which I will put above if you are interested in learning more about closed door romances. So in this video, I will be reading the 3 books that I own by Sarah Adams. So I have The Cheat Sheet, which was originally on KU. It's probably still on KU. I don't think this is traditionally published. This is the indie version. And then I have When in Rome, which is her first traditionally published book. This is Dell Trade. And then I also have Practice Makes Perfect, which is her most recent book. From my understanding, these two are in the same world, so I will be doing that. And I will be reading these 3 books. She has more. She has at least one called The Temporary Roommate, but that's only available on KU. I did get the audiobook, but I really am focusing on books that I already own. So I will be reading these 3 of Sarah Adams to get a feel of her, since I own 3 of her books and haven't read any of them yet. Roll the vlog. I think I'm 32% into the cheat sheet. I can't remember, but that's 100 pages, and we are following Brie and Nathan, and they are best friends, and they both are in love with each other, and they both haven't told each other, and I just know that this is gonna be the slowest slow burn of my life. I don't particularly like slow burns. I also don't really like friends to lovers, and this is the prime example of this because they're afraid to tell each other how they really feel because they don't want to ruin their friendship, and I just can't stand it. It's not for me. It's not my thing. The thing is, I'm liking the book. I'm just like not liking the tropes, which is fine. Like, I don't really base books off of tropes, but otherwise I'm really liking it. Nathan is a pro football player, and Brie was a ballerina, and now she teaches dance, and she is not doing great financially, and obviously he is doing fine financially. And then the first 100 pages, basically they've just been pining after each other. And like I said, that's not really, like, friends with lovers is not my thing, and literally it's because they won't communicate with each other. So that's it. No real thoughts. This is, I'm hopefully gonna finish this tonight. This is like a super short book, which is great. I'm 65% into the cheat sheet. Honestly, this is super cute. Like, I know going in that it's gonna be closed door, but there's like a lot of flirting and stuff, which, please, that's all I want. It is slow burn, but they're fake dating now, which I did not know. I did not know that there would be fake dating, and fake dating is my #1 trope ever. So I'm liking this a lot. Like, it feels like a solid 4 stars is what I was trying to say. So I said solid. And I think that's really good. And I really like, let me start over. My romance doesn't have to have smut in it, and I know that this will not have any smut in it, and that's completely fine because I feel like I get to know the characters more, and there's more like flirting, and they get to know each other better. And that's exactly what's happening here, except that they've already been friends for years and years, and now they're fake dating and they love each other and all that stuff. So I'm almost done. I'll let you know, but I'm really liking this. Hey, I finished the cheat sheet. This was literally so cheesy. Like, I don't mind romances being cheesy. Like, that is, in my opinion, their sole purpose. But this was absolutely too much for me. So I feel like this is not going to be a spoiler because it's a romance, and romances have happily ever afters. So if you want to skip it, you can. But they end up together, right? And even though they haven't been a couple for more than like 2 weeks, they decide to get married. And I just think that's stupid. Yesterday, when I finished it last night, I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads. I feel like 2 stars is mean, and I feel like 2.5 stars is mean, but I still feel like 3 stars is too many. So I really have no idea. I am gonna keep it at 3 stars for now. But when I update this video, I will absolutely let you know. But this was not my favorite, and I probably will unhaul it because like, it was too cheesy, like, even for me. And I don't mind the cheese because I read romance, but, like, this is so cheesy. I'm 75 pages into When in Rome, which is already 25%, so that's great. The one thing about Sarah Adams is that she writes short books, so I'm into it. This is a modern-day take of Audrey Hepburn movie called, I got this, Roman Holiday. So we're following A. Rose, who is, like, Taylor Swift, and she is having a hard time with fame, so she literally just leaves LA, I think, and drives to Rome, Kentucky. That's why it's called When in Rome. I like actually thought they were going to, I knew nothing about this. Anyway, so her car breaks down, and then she meets this dude. I think his name is Noah, and he like takes her in and everything, and he is super grumpy. I don't know why. I think something happened with his fiance. So she is not used to like doing things on her own because she's been, you know, protected since she's been a pop star. But so far it's grumpy sunshine, and I'm assuming it's gonna be friends to lovers. I don't know. It's really cute though. I just can't believe I'm 75 pages in and I'm already a quarter of the way through. It's great. But yeah, I'm having a good time with this. I would say right now that it's nothing special. But yeah, I think I met one of the characters in the next book, Practice Makes Perfect. It has to do with like a flower shop, and I met Noah's sister who owns a flower shop. So that's good. That's how they're connected. I am 64% into When in Rome. Listen, after the cheat sheet, I was a little nervous to keep going down this taste test because I didn't love the cheat sheet. I didn't really love the writing. I didn't really love the story. And also, I am not a friends to lovers girly because of everything I had previously stated. But I'm obsessed with When in Rome. And the thing is, it's funny. Like it's a pure rom-com. So like I have legitimately been on the couch like laughing, kicking my feet. Cassman's looking at me like, you're so annoying. But like he just doesn't get it because it's funny. And like the sexual tension between Noah and Amelia, who is Ray Rose, her real name is Amelia, is so good. And the fact that I know that this is a closed door romance and I'm not gonna like no it's kind of shitty, but it doesn't matter because I already feel like this is going to be 5 stars just because like I'm having such a good time reading this, and that is how I rate things. I rate for enjoyment and fun only, and I am enjoying this and having fun. So God, I love this so much, and I love grumpy sunshine. I love when the men are grumpy. Because I'm grumpy, so I relate. I'm really liking this. I finished When in Rome last night. It was due today, and I didn't want to freak out and not finish it, so I finished it. I freaked out yesterday. I finished it yesterday, but absolutely love this. 5 stars. I don't care that it was cheesy. It was less cheesy than the cheat sheet, and it was definitely better written, and I love the characters way more in this one. And I think it was honestly just the tropes worked better for me in this one. That's literally it. It's just like I'm just not a friends to lovers girly, and I never have been. But yeah, I absolutely love this one. If you are looking for like easy breezy kind of hallmarky kind of book, like you're just not in the mood for something super serious, then I absolutely recommend Sarah Adams. I haven't even read Practice Makes Perfect yet, but I know I'm probably going to love that one because it's set in the same world as When in Rome, and it follows one of Noah's sisters, and I am very excited to start reading it. So 5 stars to When in Rome. Like I said, it wasn't anything spectacular, but like it didn't matter to me because I had such a great time reading it. I was giggling, I was kicking my feet up in the air, I was invested. Also, like, I just kept picturing Ray or Amelia as like Taylor Swift, and that like really worked for me, even though obviously she doesn't look like Taylor Swift at all. But in my brain I was just like, okay, this is Taylor Swift. So I don't know, all in all, this really worked for me. I absolutely loved it. So this was bounds and bounds better than the cheat sheet. Like, I absolutely would not recommend the cheat sheet to people unless they love Friends to Lovers, then I'd be like, the cheat sheet. But like, if you love Grumpy Sunshine and you don't want spice in your book, or you're looking for something more Hallmarky, this is the book I would recommend to people. I am 27% into Practice Makes Perfect. This is the last book that I have for the Sarah Adams taste test. So I knew that I was going to read this last because I knew that this was connected to When in Rome, and I am glad that I read When in Rome first. Not that you can be spoiled for a romance, because the literal definition of a romance is that there's a happily ever after, right? We're all in agreement on that. But still, personally, I'm glad that I read When in Rome first. So we are following Annie. Annie is Nate's sister. We meet her in When in Rome. I think she's the youngest sister, and she is shy, introverted, kind of like a goody two-shoes, virgin, 28. And we meet her in this book, and she's on a disastrous date. She's on like the worst date ever, and her date thinks she's super boring, and she kind of gets rescued by Will, who is this dude, who is Amelia from When in Rome's bodyguard. So he's back in Rome, Kentucky to protect Amelia, but Annie and Will have the hots for each other, even though they're complete opposites. Like, Annie, all she wants to do is get married and have kids and have a long-term relationship, and Will never wants to have a relationship ever. So they have struck a deal that Will is going to help Annie not be awkward on dates and like date better. But we all know how this is gonna go down. They already have so much chemistry, and all they have literally done is like brushed hands. I am excited to see. He looks so cute. I didn't actually look at this cover ever, but yeah, this is super cute. Okay, what was I gonna say? Oh, this is, all her books are closed door, so I'm interested to see how this will be closed door, because they're talking about spicy romance books that Annie reads. So I think it's funny that Sarah Adams is talking about spicy books, but she doesn't really write them, which I think is kind of cool. But I am pro closed door romance, so I'm excited to see where this one goes. Obviously, I know where this one is going to go, and they're going to end up together, and it's going to be a good time, but let's see if there'll be a weird third act breakup, or I'm sure there will be, and I will keep you updated. Hello, I am 60% into Practice Makes Perfect. The sexual tension in this book is literally so good, and I feel like at least, no, I read all of her books. Well, most of her books. Adams is very slow burn, especially because they are closed door. But we have had some like spicy makeout sessions, which I was fond of. But I will say, at this point in time, I think I was liking When in Rome more than Practice Makes Perfect. And I know that people absolutely love this book, so I'm hoping that it really surprises me in the last 40%, and that I absolutely fall in love with it, because I mean, it's not a bad book, but like, I personally liked When in Rome more. And it could be because I think Annie is a little annoying. I absolutely love Will. Will is a great love interest. He's amazing. Love him. Annie, her whole thing is that she's a goody two-shoes, and I don't like her because she's goody two-shoes. Like, it's giving Tessa from After. And if you know what I mean about that, then I am so sorry that you also read it. But like, it's giving me that, and It's not my favorite thing, and I know her whole thing is that she's gonna like change and be who she really is and not this goody two shoes family, part of her family thing, which I am down for. But like, it's probably just because I'm not a goody two shoes, so I just like cannot relate to Annie. So that's probably it, and that's fine. So I'm liking this, but I will say I'm liking When in Rome more. I am sorry if you can hear my kids. Whatever. I finished Practice Makes Perfect last night. I was in between 4 and 5 stars, and I ended up giving it 5 stars because I love the ending so much. However, I did like When in Rome more, and I don't think that's a popular opinion. I don't know. I just really loved When in Rome, and I think it was the Grumpy Sunshine thing that really worked for me. And this one was more opposites attract, which is completely fine, but I really like Grumpy Sunshine. So 5 stars for Practice Makes Perfect. I want to talk about the consent in this. Was the best consent I have ever read. Like, so Annie was a virgin, and if she immediately said like wait or stop or whatever, he just like completely stopped. Or like at the end she was blindfolded to go somewhere and she was like, can we have a timeout? And he just like stopped, and I just absolutely loved it. I loved that he was so receptive to her, and like as soon as she said no or wait or stop or whatever, he like did not even think twice and just stopped. So I have read all the Sarah Adams books that I was going to read. I will do a wrap up, and then that's the end of this video. Before I end this video, I have an update about Sarah Adams. All of her books so far have been closed door romances, and people have really liked that. She announced her new book this week. This is the end of August. I don't know when this video is going out, but she announced her next book, and it is an open door romance. So there will be sex on page. And people are mad at her. She just, today is the 30th, she just wrote an Instagram post about it. I will put the Instagram post down below. But she was like, I can write whatever I want, and if you don't like that, that's fine. And I agree with her. I don't necessarily think just because you've written 5 books that are closed door, you have to be closed door for the rest of your life. And I really liked pretty much all the Sarah Adams that I have read, so I will read her next book. And like I have said a billion times, probably in this video, I don't care if books are closed door or open door. It does not matter to me personally. I like them both. So I know people will disagree with that, and people only read closed door or what they like to call clean romances, which I hate. It's not clean. So just that, and I will go into my ending of this video now. Okay, so for this video, the goal was to do a Sarah Adams taste test. I read one of her indies. I know she has at least 2 more, but I did not read those because I did not have them physically, and I'm trying to work on my physical TBR. However, I would be interested in reading more. I think it's called The Temporary Roommate, and I would be interested in reading those. So stay tuned. But I read the cheat sheet, did not really like this. I would still recommend it if you were looking for closed door, but for me personally, it was super, super cheesy, especially the end. And for me, it was the end. So I gave this 3 stars. And then I read When in Rome and gave this 5 stars. And I pictured Ray Rose as Taylor Swift. And if like Taylor Swift needed to get away and she found someone who was just like not famous, who owned a pie shop and fell in love, this is who I pictured, and absolutely love that for myself, and gave this 5 stars. And then in Practice Makes Perfect, we were following Noah. I think it's Noah. It's either Nate or Noah. I know one of these is Nate and one of these is Noah, and I can't remember which one is whatever. It doesn't matter. So I think it's Noah. We're following Noah's sister in the small town of Rome, Kentucky, and it's a bodyguard romance. So I ended up giving both of these 5 stars. However, I personally liked When in Rome more, but I highly recommend this series. I will be keeping both of these. No matter if I had I don't know. If I had given this 3 stars, I might have considered keeping this just because of the cover, but it didn't matter because I gave both of these 5 stars. So this is the Sarah Adams taste test for closed door romance. I absolutely recommend these. I will be reading The Temporary Roommate at some point. Like I said, I just wanted to focus on my own TBR, but that's it. So thanks for watching my video. See you on the next one. Bye!
Losing time, I'm fading fast.